Hello, and welcome to the 75th episode of Todd Talk. 'Cause when Todd talks, people listen. Hopefully, you guys have been around for 74 episodes. It's clear someone's listening to me. And, last episode was like 350 views, so I must be doing something right. So, yeah, welcome. But seriously, I thank you for enduring me over 75 episodes, from the death battles to the comic book ones to some of the more personal ones. My Pokemon one, which is still one of my favorites, and my Mythbusters one. I really love that. But I thank you all, and I hope you'll continue to listen to me talk, because I want to keep doing this for however long we get to do this. So let's get it on, because in this episode we are discussing the death battle that just happened between Raven of the Teen Titans from DC Comics and Twilight Sparkle from My Little Pony. Yep, it happened. So I know a lot of people were mad about this matchup because it was, another My Little Pony character, and then versus Raven, who's very well respected DC Comics character. Some people wanted her to go up against Scarlet Witch or Jean Grey. And as I explained in my prediction video, it wouldn't have worked. But this one was actually pretty good. One of the things I really liked was the breakdowns. They did a really good job with the breakdowns on this one. Like Raven and her soul self. I love the breakdowns of that, of how she could travel super fast, the different incarnations of it, how it, like as I mentioned in my prediction video, just messes with your mind. It can transport you to another dimension and everything. It was actually really, really cool. And then, of course, they talked about Dark Raven and White Raven, which is great because people said they weren't going to do White Raven. Like, they said, oh, they've confirmed they're not using White Raven. I'm like, yeah, they are. They're going to use White Raven. And no, to be fair, they didn't go extensively into it, and she did appear in the battle briefly, but I knew they had to use White Raven. I don't know why people thought they wouldn't. I don't know why people thought that they were just going to use the cartoon version of Raven. That's not how that battle works. Anyway, an interesting note, the Dark Raven section was actually one I researched heavily, just coming across certain things during my research before my prediction video. And that shot of her immobilizing the Titans was one I referenced in my prediction video. And I thought it was really cool that they literally took that shot to say, yeah, this is Dark Raven. So that was pretty cool. And as for Twilight Sparkle, they did a really good job of showing why this is one of the most powerful ponies in My Little Pony. Oh, I'm sorry, Alicorn. Most powerful Alicorns in My Little Pony, and how she learned her magic, why she's so good at retaining magic, and of course her abilities. And I love the scene where Twilight's fighting that horned guy. Okay, can we just make a note that both Raven and Twilight Sparkle have fought red-skinned guys with horns? I'm just saying. Anyway, he's a Trifkin guy or something, and she does the horn blast, and Boomstick goes, "Whoa, when does turn to Dragon Ball Z?" I can't do Boomstick. I'm sorry. It's actually one of the few voices I can't do. I can't do Boomstick. Whatever. But that was just a funny thing. And then now the battle itself, I won 2-0 so far this season. So yeah, Raven won, and it was curious because much of the fight was just leaned towards Raven. Twilight did have some spells and everything, and it just didn't have the balance. I felt it was really lacking in the action department, which is rare for a death battle. But it just seemed like Raven was attacking more than Twilight was, and then when Twilight did get certain shots in, it was mainly played off as comedy, like her want it, need it spell, or transferring Raven into a plant. It was okay, but it was just, it wasn't as impactful. And then of course leads to the death scene, which they pulled a great fake, because if you blinked, you didn't see the soul self go up. I didn't notice until my second viewing, but the soul self leaves Twilight Sparkle, and Twilight Sparkle is about to go crush Raven in her plant form. And then right as she does so, the soul stuff just goes wham right on her. And while I give props for creativity, it wasn't exactly the best. Because if they didn't say KO, I would not have believed that was her death. Just because of how they framed it. There was no, as many on the Screw Attack forums have noted, gore. There was no gore in it. There was no blood. There was no, visceral thing. Now, I grant you, this probably wouldn't have been the best character to do it with. And if in contrast, should Raven have died via the stomping on the plant, that wouldn't have been gore, but it would have been at least visual. Like, we did not see Twilight Sparkle die. We just saw her get impacted, the Raven poke her head up, and then Raven transform. Oh, sorry, the Soul Self poke her head up, and then the Raven transforming back into herself. So it was a little odd. The pacing just felt weird. They did a good job on some things, like the Soul Self was really well animated. For the time they had, obviously. Raven and Twilight. If you didn't watch Death Battle Cast, the Twilight Sparkle sprites had to be all edited because none of them had her alicorn wings. I don't know why I did this when I said alicorn wings, but I did. So like the editor, the animator Jets, he had to add the wings to every single Twilight Sparkle sprite, and that takes a lot of work. So props to him for that. But it looked all right. It was your standard 2D death battle, but it wasn't as paced as well as I might have liked. And White Raven was a blink and you miss it kind of thing, and it just didn't feel as impactful as it should have. So not their best 2D death battle. So, but the breakdown was good enough because I know some people. I knew many people, including you, not to drag Neil. Yeah, you know who you are. Thought that I don't want to watch this video because I know Twilight Sparkle is gonna win. Guess what? You were wrong. And if you had listened to me, you would have known you were wrong. No, I'm kidding, not to. But a lot of people thought, oh man, they're gonna give another win to a pony. And it just goes to show, just because a series has a winning streak doesn't mean that it's not gonna lose. Which is ironic because Street Fighter has a long losing streak that fans are desperate to break. But no matter what they put them in, they keep losing. But it wasn't the best death battle, and I do wish that they had spaced this one out. But if this is like the worst death battle of the season, I can live with that. This was far from the worst death battle ever. It just after Black Panther and Batman, which was very cool visually and pacing wise, this one just didn't really compare as much. So, but I'm glad Raven won, and DC got another win after getting a loss. I didn't like that. DC lost, and DC won, and so. Okay, moving on to the next death battle. Now, as you recall, in my prediction video, I noted that this next battle was going to be featuring two franchises that had never been in death battle before, and it was correct. I had to write their names down, though, because I can barely pronounce them. We have Jotaro. I apologize if I'm saying that wrong. Jotaro from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And if you know that franchise, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. And then we got Kenshiro, who is Fist of the North Star, who I actually do know from various things, including a DBX that they had with him versus Saitama from One Punch Man. So this is literally the anime fist fight battle. Now, I do have some bad news. It's not the battle itself, because this has a lot of potential. Sadly, it's been confirmed that this is not going to be Torian's death battle, which is making a lot of people sad, because this had the potential for a great 3D death battle. But this is apparently going to be a 2D death battle, which means Torian's might be next. We really don't know. We were told, the third death battle of the season was going to be Torian, and this is now the longest they've gone. Well, to be fair, but they've gone a long time since Torian's last battle, which was technically Sephiroth Virgil. So, and the last two seasons, the previous two seasons, they started off with a 3D death battle with Bayonetta versus Dante, and then Lara Croft versus Nathan Drake. And so, not only did they not start off with a 3D death battle, we're now going to be 4 battles in before we potentially see it. So that's kind of odd. But hopefully everything works out. Hopefully everything's fine. I don't know what's going on, but whatever it is, hopefully it'll be good. But I look forward to researching Jotaro and Kenshiro. This seriously, if you look at like the gifts of these characters, it's absolutely insane. This is anime to its purest form. Just punches and special abilities and blowing up tanks by punching it, because you can. So I look forward to researching them, and I hope you will join me on the next episode when I break it down. So, with that, I will end this episode of Todd Talk on our 75th episode anniversary thingamabobber. What did you think of Raven vs. Twilight Sparkle? Are you excited for Jotaro vs. Kenshiro? What is Torian working on? These are the questions we will ask and won't be answered for another month. So, let me know. And, thank you for watching. If you made this far, I know you were listening, at least for this episode. And I will see you around.